All right, what's up, boys? It's August 5th. This will be your best trade of the day video. Today was a pretty wild session. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I came up with my pre-market plan. I'm going to show you what happened on the session, and I'm going to show you the best trade you could have taken today. All right, so boom. In my Discord, I drop my plan every single morning. This is what I came up with today. So yesterday, obviously, pretty much a straight move up. That is right here for the AM session. So since we moved straight up, I am definitely not trying to get long anywhere near this overnight consolidation, right? So the highest probability thing I can think of is getting long on a pullback, but I am anticipating a pullback. So I also could possibly look to get short somehow to target a place where I'd want to get long at. That's basically what my mindset was for this morning session. So there's really one main area of interest that I like today, and it was basically from where we consolidated yesterday. And I liked this point of control right here all the way down to the bottom end of that consolidation. So you can see this P shape on the profile right here. And this is a somewhat of an area of low volume, but really I'm trying to get long somewhere from this point of control down to the bottom of this balance. That was my scenario to get long today. And that ended up being from roughly 347 down to roughly 330. And you can see over here, it's kind of even more like 328, but really the main idea is get long where we consolidated yesterday. The other thing I was kind of looking at was these highs from the overnight session, and I was potentially seeing maybe we sweep the highs to spot absorption to play short, targeting that 47 to 30 area. That was my other scenario. That didn't really happen today, but I'm sure you guys all know what happened on the session. We obviously sold off pretty hard. So let's just go through this real quick and see what the best trade of the day is. So one big thing to keep in mind is we had ISM data at 9 a.m. Central. For you guys that are on Eastern time, obviously it's 10 a.m. So I was really waiting for that to take a trade today. I saw we came up to the 71s and we had offers pooling. I think these guys filled, I guess. So yeah, we came up to these 71s. We had some offers that actually pooled. I was wanting to see a sweep of all of these orders up here from 73 to 76 to potentially look to get short. That was what I was waiting for as we were trading near here. But I really wanted to wait for that 9 o'clock candle to open up with the news. And that was what I was doing today. So yeah, I did not catch this short, of course. Didn't catch this short. It actually kind of looks like, you had the initial selling, some strong selling step in right here. Weak buying, CVD divergence. This could have actually been a good short setup, potentially. I'm going to see what it looks like on the footprint, double check the footprint. And then here's what it looks like on a footprint chart. So you can see we actually did have some imbalances from, this would have been pre-market from where the selling kind of started. You can see we came up and tested those imbalances. This is the red zone. Formed a P shape on the profile, get some strong delta right here. That's just indicating sellers are active potentially. And yeah, this could have been a good short setup. I didn't have a plan for it. I was waiting for, like I said, I wanted to see those 75s to 77s get tested. I never got it. So it is what it is. I'm not, hindsight's always 20/20, but this actually doesn't look bad at all on a footprint chart. You get the P shape whenever you go and test those imbalances that were created from the pre-market, like I said. Obviously, data comes out. You have a crazy amount of aggressive selling hit the book, and this is where we start selling off. So after this happens, I'm just like, all right, only thing I can do is wait for a spot to get long at, right? And like I told you guys, that's going to be right down here, starting from 47, 330. So this is what I waited for today to come into. We came into it, so we come into this level, fill some orders. Every single pop gets sold. Like this one, obviously, first pop sold. I would call this a pop right here. Sold immediately. Pop sold immediately. And I'm just like waiting for any reason on the footprint. I'm waiting for any good side to get long. And for those of you who are probably thinking exactly what am I looking for, I am looking for sellers to get absorbed. Since this is obviously, we have strong selling in the market, I'm looking for any sign of sellers getting absorbed, followed by significant buy. And ideally, I would get some sort of short consolidation period where we move sideways or potentially even break structure to the upside on a 5-minute. I'm looking for any sort of consolidation. I do not like getting in pops whenever it's just like this, for example, see how we just pretty much pop right off of a low and we don't like consolidate or anything like that. I'm not looking to get long off something like this. I'm looking for some sort of consolidation, preferably like a 3 to 5 minute consolidation, potentially even a little more, but really just consolidation before a pop. I don't want to just get long because I'm seeing some buying volume come in without any consolidation. That usually ends very poorly, as it would have today. So pops just getting sold, getting sold. Get another one right here, getting sold immediately. And notice how there's pretty much no consolidation before these pops that are getting sold, right? All right, so this is the trade I took today. So in hindsight, it was not enough consolidation, in my opinion. We're trading at the bottom of the zone I had for today, at the low end of it at 330, right? Like I said, this consolidation is really not significant. So it would have just been, it was kind of just a bad trade in general, but it was at a key level. And there was definitely some effort from buyers at these prices right here. And I'm going to show you what it looks like on a footprint chart as well. Yeah, like I said, I was seeing a little bit of passive activity right here, a little bit of consolidation, nothing, not the best at all. I see some buying volume. I come in and I get long on a pullback right at 332, probably right around here. I went up like 2 points in profit and immediately the pop gets sold. Once again, nothing new on the session, but this is what it looked like. This is what it looked like on a footprint chart, and honestly does not look good. Does not look that good. So I got long right off of 30. And the reason why I decided to try it out was because at the moment, this was looking more like a B-shaped profile. And I saw some selling volume I saw some selling delta, which in hindsight, once again, might have been not as significant, but you can see 200 lots on 300 traded, 250 lots on 300 traded. So I had this candle and then we had some more right here, which doesn't look as significant anymore. I took it long whenever we came up and retested this area, and then obviously it quickly got shut down. So this, even just looking at the footprint, like this doesn't even look like good confirmation to get long just by looking at it in general. It definitely looked better in the moment, but I had literally a 2 point risk on it, so it's not even the biggest deal. It was at a key level, and yeah, it was just a mistake I made, I guess. But you can see in this somewhat of an area of lower volume, you know, we didn't really have a solid LVN that formed today. We just had kind of waves of it. So yeah, this was just one of those pops that got sold today, and that's simply what happened. So that was a quick 2 point loss on that, whatever. Selling volume just continues to come in and smack the bid. And was just the theme of the morning. And then finally you get definitely some significant activity at the lows, which this is whenever I say like we're looking to get long on some sort of consolidation phase. We're not looking to get long on a pop in volume that we see. So this was the reversal of the day right here, and basically the low, or I guess it was the low of the day, right? The low was at 315 right down here. You got these bids, and basically sellers just kind of lost control right around here, and buyers stepped in. But this is what it looks like on a footprint chart. It looks really, really good, honestly. So you get the strong selling volume. Look at the delta bars as well. And this is the reversal candle right here. So this is like a B shape, right? B shape, you get some delta, you get a successful auction at the low, you get a little bit of a buying imbalance, you get some, really you can just spot this as some stronger buyers coming in, retest those prices where they got in at, and you can see you're getting some negative delta right here too. So this could have been another confirmation. This would have been a good reversal confirmation, at least for a short term. I would definitely not look for a bigger reversal with a morning like we had. If you're going to trade counter trend, if you're going to try to catch a falling knife, or if you're trying to get in on a reversal, or after the trend has been so strong, you're going to look for quicker scalps and potentially shorter targets than you would normally, like if you're not going with the trend, or than you would if you were going with the trend. If you were going with the trend, you can probably get those 12, 15 points in with a runner. With counter trend trading, I have seen and learned from others that you're just going for that shorter target, 10 to 12 point maybe, and you're trying to get all out on that target. You don't want to be trying to hold runners or expect anything stupid. You don't want to expect like obviously a full reversal. That's the probability of that happening is very low. But this is basically what I was kind of looking for in that zone that I had today from 47 to 330. Obviously, I did not get that, so I'm gonna review that trade and nail down what I did wrong, and potentially what did I see, whatever. I'm gonna do some more review on that later, but this is essentially the type of thing I wanted to see on a footprint chart in that level. So yeah, this is looks like a nice reversal. But as far as the best trade to take today on the session, that's honestly kind of hard for me to even determine because I'm sure it would have happened earlier in the morning, potentially right here. I didn't see this and think to short this because I didn't like getting in a position 5 minutes before data, and that's the reason why I didn't take it. But honestly, I was, like I said earlier, I was still waiting for these orders to fill before even trying to short. So I wouldn't even have caught this anyway. But as far as the best setup of the day, I mean, obviously this is probably one of the best entries you could have gotten today. Like I said, it looks pretty good on a footprint, P shape, selling imbalances, some delta, more delta, retested that P shape with some lower volume. It looked good, but yeah, didn't take it. As far as if you didn't take that, the best trade would have probably been a short 56. And honestly, once again, I can't even give you like a concrete reason why you would short there other than maybe you're getting short with the imbalances that started whenever that data came out. If you're getting short due to like illiquidity coming into these imbalances, that could potentially be a reason to take this trade. But as far as like a key level, I don't have anything here. If you guys have anything, let me know in the comments. I think one person took this in my Discord, but I'll have to see what their exact reasoning was for it. But yeah, definitely the imbalances with a lack of buying into them or just illiquidity going into them, potentially a reason to get short there. But like, to be honest with you, from my end, I didn't see too much today that was good. I mean, I didn't want to get short close to this 47 level. So as soon as we cross this 47 level, I was looking for ways to get long. Obviously, there was nothing until potentially the only spot being down here. That's pretty much my read on today's session. It wasn't the best. Like, there's definitely opportunities that sometimes go by. And it's kind of like one of those things where, see, before we opened up, I was kind of like, all right, I definitely don't want to be a buyer up here. I definitely would like to short a pullback into an area that I want to get long at, but I just had no real area of interest to do that other than like the overnight highs. I didn't have anything other than that. So like I'm trying to stick to taking trades at, specific locations. Sometimes that works out. Most of the time that works out the best. That's going to set you up for highest probability. But in my career, there's also been a lot of trades that I've taken just purely that have been theses that kind of form intraday, like how you could have potentially developed a short thesis after seeing the footprint before the data or after the data where those imbalances you have no buying and then selling stepping in. I don't know. I just have been trying to stay away from that, but I think that I might be kind of realizing that, all right, there might be a place for, developing a thesis on the fly. Like for today's example, like I said, I kind of knew, all right, I definitely don't want to be a buyer. Maybe I could look for ways to get short. Maybe that's a time where I'm like, all right, like this is a good spot to not be a buyer. So maybe I can develop a short intraday if it forms. But like, I definitely don't want to develop any intraday theses to get long unless I'm using a key level. I don't know. Maybe that's something I'll have to experiment a little more with, and maybe that'll just come with just experience in general. But yeah, it's like I definitely have had trades where I developed them on the fly or like I developed them based off of intraday context that work out very well. It's just like I'm trying to find out maybe when they're going to be more valid than not. So I don't know. So yeah, that's my read on today's session. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe for more order flow content and helpful videos like this. Like the video, obviously, and if you want to join the order flow Discord, it's free. It's in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.